Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name's Luke, and I'm joined by the Prince of Pittsburgh, Cole Macek.
My man.
Hey, I love it. It's my favorite nickname. I love it. Before we get into some of the stuff that's going on with, unfortunately, your match is falling apart, and, we're 10 days out from what should be your title fight. Let's get, because I haven't been able to interview you after your fight in November. So let's talk about that a little bit. You are the champion, the amateur 185-pound champion for 247 Fighting Championships. So let's talk about that. You fought that in November. So let's kind of get your feedback on how everything went there.
Obviously, I was, happy to walk away with the win. Worked super hard for that fight. David was he was so strong and, technical, really good wrestler. Tired me out there at the end, but, it went as expected. I always go in there super confident. Losing doesn't cross my mind. So walked out with the win, couldn't be happier. And just, hopefully here, trying to get ready to defend the title now moving forward, so hopefully it all works out.
Absolutely. And considering after November, because that was right around Thanksgiving, nobody kind of knew when COVID would be letting up and when we'd be able to get back to in-person fights. What have you been doing with the months in between as far as training for your own skill set?
I actually haven't trained at all, and I'm super out of shape. So for anybody that's out there watching this, I hope that gives you a reason to take this fight.
That's true. That's true. It's very true. This is our shameless plug to say any 185er or maybe a 170er that's a little out of shape, whoever's out there, because you are from what I've heard, you've signed any contract they've put in front of you as far as defending your belt May 22nd at the Monroeville Convention Center for 247 Fighting Championships. Talk about, before we get into some of the other stuff, talk about the mindset of being willing to sign anybody that Jim Mooney or Ryan Middleton finds for you.
Well, it's an amateur fight. I'm doing this for the long haul. I want to test myself. I never shied away from a challenge my entire life. It seems that, other people might not have that same mindset, and, that's unfortunate for me, but, I'm okay with, fighting whatever amateur they put in front of me. I believe that I'm the best amateur fighter right now in the entire country. I know that I'm ready to go pro, but I want to get the experience. I want one more fight. And, if it comes down to it, I'll go pro if I can't find a fight, but right. We'll see. But I've been, I know I joked earlier, but I've been training super hard with my coaches, my team. I feel that I'm ready, and I feel that I'm, better than I've ever been before. My hands, I've been working on my kickboxing a lot. My it's great. So, I'm just hoping I get to, go out there and challenge myself. I personally do not care who they put in front of me. I really don't, Luke.
Well, I truly believe you. I think that's actually one of the reasons why you are a great champion for 247 Fighting Championships. You're the second ever amateur champion, and you would be the first amateur champion to defend a title. Obviously, it's great that your training's been going well. In November, you would have had a ton of fans there, I'm sure. After all, your nickname is the Prince of Pittsburgh. But last minute, few days out, they weren't able to have fans. I know this time around you would be having fans. What would it be like to be able to defend your belt in front of your hometown fans?
Oh, it'd be amazing. And that's kind of, that it's part of the reason why I do it. I do it for myself and to challenge myself because I love the sport, but I love being able to put on a show in front of all my friends and my family. And, the support's been absolutely incredible. It's been unbelievable. I have, people reaching out to me, that want to come to the fight that I haven't talked to in years. And it's just, it's really humbling, and it's awesome to have that fan base. I've got 300 tickets that I'm selling. I might run out. I would have ran out had I had the time to sell all these tickets. I probably could have got some more, but I've been putting people, on hold for now because I don't want to sell these tickets and then have no opponent and then have to refund everybody and, get people's hopes up and whatnot. But I guess to answer your question, man, it's just, it truly is humbling, and it's awesome to be able to have the support that I've been having. And part of the reason why I want to fight local, just to fight in front of everybody, at least one more time before I make the jump and go pro, start fighting, across the country or wherever it may be. So, it's been awesome. It really has.
Well, and I think that's obviously a wonderful trajectory of your career to see your amateur career going so well. And then you've talked about pro obviously several times, and there'll be a pro 185-pound debut fight. How much will you be watching them? That's the Jacob
Jake,
Lowry, the Jacob Lowry fight. How much will you, well, hopefully you're fighting and you won't be paying attention, but how much you'll be looking at the Jacob Lowry? I know his opponent is also a debut pro 185er. And so the three of you really are kind of all probably right sort of together as far as skill set and looking toward you making your pro debut here soon in the future, then making it then. How much are you paying attention to debut pros at 185?
well, I'll be watching that whole fight because that's my dog. That's my training partner, Jake. So, I'll be watching the whole thing. As far as I know all of his little tricks. So, I got him figured out. But no, me and Jake, we're cool. That's my man. We train together all the time.
Okay.
And he's a tough dude, man. I feel bad for the guy who's going to be across the cage from him on Saturday night. So, he's been waiting for an opportunity for a while. It's been a year and a half since he had his last fight, and he's in with the right guys with the right team. He's a beast. He's an absolute beast. So, and it's fun training with him because he gets me better, and I get him better as well.
Well, that's what you need from training partners. That's one of the reasons why at one point the Jackson Winklejohn camp, where they had Rashad Evans, who was at the top, and John Jones, who was coming up, and they kind of had that back and forth. You've got to have good partners around you. You mentioned Jake Lowry, and he's somebody who's also had a lot of opponents fall through. He was supposed to make his debut several times at pro. How much of a problem do you think the amateur ranks suffer from not being able to enforce? Obviously, there's no way to enforce people take fights. How much do you think that impacts amateur MMA fighters?
I mean, I don't know. It's a tough position to be in. I mean, Jake being 6-0, and I think he was. There was a point in time where he was looking for another amateur fight, and me being 4-0. I think a lot of those, once you get to that level of amateur fight, and you've got that O at the end of your record, and you get 4, 5, 6 wins, most people know you're at a pro level at that point. And people that are looking for amateur fights, a lot of those guys, they just want to have a nice record. That they don't want to go out there and test themselves and challenge themselves. They're just looking to stay undefeated or keep a clean record because they don't have any intention of going pro. But the guys who do have intention of going pro, most of those guys are already pro. So it's a very small group of people that you can really reach out to and try to match those people up. If that makes any sense, you really you're narrowing yourself into a little corner. But, and that's what I mean. That's why I say, if I have to end up going pro, I will. But, my going into this, I wanted to fight at least 6 amateur fights, but it's becoming, pretty tough for whatever reason. So hopefully we can get, one more in here. And, I'd like to fight another time or two before the year's end. But, we'll see what happens. But, it's been tough for me and Jake. And, he's always complained about not being able to get a fight. And now I'm in his shoes. And so I can relate.
Yeah, it's something that you've obviously seen. I actually talked to Miles Lee. I don't know if you know that name. He recently made his debut. He's out of a Philly gym, and he was 5-0 or 6-0 before he made his debut for CFFC at 185. And I talked to him the other day about you. I was trying to see if he knew anybody. I'm trying. I'm like, hey, we need a 185er. Do you know anybody? But kind of what he was saying is kind of what you were saying, that the amateurs who are really dedicated to wanting to treat themselves as a career, as far as MMA goes, they're pro, and that's their mindset. And I know that it's very hard because you're still an amateur looking for somebody to have that pro mindset that says, I want to test myself and I want to go up against somebody like a Jake Lowry, who's 6-0, like Prince of Pittsburgh, Cole Macek, who's 4-0. And I do think in the big scheme of things, 4-0 is not that big of a number when you consider Khabib Nurmagomedov 29-0 at a pro level, right? I mean, there's obviously bigger numbers out there, and it is kind of one of the issues of regional MMA. Now, you mentioned once you go pro, potentially fighting all over. I'm going to make the case that you continue to fight for 247 fighting championships and stay in Pittsburgh. But how much would you look forward to being the guy that flies in to fight the hometown dude who maybe other people won't fight? Like, are you looking forward to being the answer to somebody else's problem? Because right now you're looking for somebody to come into Pittsburgh to fight the hometown dude in you.
Yeah, if that's what it takes, then sure, absolutely. I've been the guy that the crowd has cheered, for the last 4 fights, and I've been used to that. So, I know that I would love to. Me and my brother were talking about this yesterday. I would love to fight in Cleveland one day, and come out with a terrible towel, swing it, and have something along those lines. But I don't care, man. I love to fight local. It's super fun. It's a great experience for everybody, and I'm just, honored to be able to put on that show for my friends and my family who are able to enjoy the experience as well. And then we all go out and we celebrate after, and it's always a good time. But yeah, I mean, if it gets to a certain point in my career where, I'm fighting pro, or, they want me to go fly out to wherever it might be and fight somebody else, I mean, I would never shy away from challenge.
Well, and I absolutely believe that you are all about challenging yourself and taking the best challenge. Something you've been doing on Facebook since you won the belt, and it's a beautiful, the 247 belt is a beautiful belt. You've been posing with it as you close houses, and I believe you've been giving the home buyers the belt and they wear it. What was the thinking process behind that, and how's that been going, using your belt in your house selling real estate business?
Man, I'm just out here trying new things and just, throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks, but it's fun. It's just, I'm myself, a lot of real estate agents, we have a big, Cowden Creek key, and people take pictures with that, when they buy a house, it says sold on it. And so I was like, well, I got the belt, I'm going to add a little incentive in here. If you use me as a real estate agent, you get to take a picture with the belt. So, just like thinking outside of the box a little bit. And I mean, it's been awesome. It's been really, really cool feedback, and everybody's, everyone's like, oh man, I need to take a picture with the belt, man. I need to buy a house, this or that. So, it seems to be working.
There you go. There you go. Well,
it's just, real estate's just about, just being yourself and not being afraid to, try new things. But at the same time, being really good at your job and having people trust you. So whenever you combine those two things, it seems to be working. So, it's MMA and real estate. I don't think anybody's ever combined those two before. So I might be the first one ever doing it, but I'm trying it out. And
you gotta look up Al Iaquinta.
That's right. Yeah.
Not to rain on your parade. You're only the second person I know to have done it. But yeah, famously, Al Iaquinta, after his title shot against Khabib Nurmagomedov, said, man, whoever's listening to this, just come buy houses from me. Like, he used this post-fight speech to try to bring in some business. Now, you do mention, because I follow you on your social media, and you're doing like little mini clip videos about real estate in Pittsburgh, and you're doing all that type of stuff. And you seem to be very focused and very dedicated. When you are a very focused, dedicated fighter, how easy is it for you to then take that focus and dedication and put it to your job? Because obviously you're very focused and dedicated on your job as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just having the same mindset for both. It was tough at first because you're really like, you're almost changing your mindset, but you're not at the same time. You just have to be dedicated. And there's days where I'm super busy with real estate, but then I have practice too. So it's just about, I'll tell you the best quote I've ever heard in my entire life. My first day I was at West Point, my teacher told me, he sat up in the front of the room and he said, the best advice I could ever give you is be a person in a place. And I thought about it and I was like, what does that mean? And, the more I thought about it, it's just whatever you're doing and wherever you're at that time, like whether you're being a father, showing a house, at practice, don't let anything else distract you. Like, be 100% focused on the task at hand. And then when that's done, you move on to the next thing and you do what you need to do there. I try not to get sidetracked and multitask. I just, I focus on one thing at a time, and it's helped me a lot in my real estate career and my MMA career.
Absolutely. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Any story you can start by when I was at West Point seems to be a pretty good story. So, but when you think about it, yeah, that's really good advice, both for future military officers, but also, like you're talking about, a future pro MMA fighter, a future great real estate agent, to be focused in on what you're doing so that both yourself and the person you're with know that you're intentional about what's going on. So it's always great having you on the show. We're kind of using this, whoever's watching this, we're using this as an open casting call to Jim Mooney and Ryan. Ryan Middleton would be thrilled if anybody at 185 or willing to fight at 185. They have to have 3 official sanctioned MMA fights with a winning record or better, because it'll be advanced amateur rules. And I know it's 10 days away, but we are begging people, please give the Prince of Pittsburgh the opportunity to defend his belt. And I know, because you've said it, you'll take a challenge. You're not trying to look for an easy fight. You'll take a challenge. You'd rather have an opportunity to learn and fight than not be able to fight. So we are trying to use this as an opportunity to bring people as much as possible, get some attention to you, and hopefully get a fight for you. So I did see on Facebook that you were offering $1,000 for somebody to fight you. You can't actually do that, I don't think, because that would make them a professional, but I could see some of the humor in your posts there. So
if somebody accepts the fight, I'll have to pull them aside at the fight. We might have to
just give them a little on the side. Yeah. Yeah. It is one of those things. It's interesting. It's one of those things about how much you want to fight, which is beautiful and wonderful. And I do hope I can be announcing you again and talking to you at Fight Night. Will you be there to watch Jake regardless?
Absolutely. I'll be there to hang out with you, Luke.
Oh, hey, well, that'll be it. We'll take it. We'll shoot another little video cage side, I'm sure, because I want that belt right here, maybe, but I'm not going to buy a house from you. So tell you what, you can keep the belt on your shoulder and I'll just stand next to you. Fair enough.
You can have the belt, man. You can hold it.
Hey, I appreciate that. Well, it's been great having you on the show. I continue to focus, obviously, in your training camp. What is your mindset? Like, when will you decide to start or stop the weight cut? What are we looking at here?
My weight's good. I mean, I'm 190 right now. Okay. I mean, I could make weight tomorrow. So I'm going to be 185 pounds next Saturday, whether I have a fight or if I don't. Okay. The mindset is, just keep training until they give me an answer. It's tough, but I'm going to practice right after this. I was at practice this morning. I'm going to practice tomorrow. I'm going to practice Friday. I'm going Saturday. I'm going Sunday until they tell me I don't have a fight. The hard thing is getting all these tickets sold and if they give me a fight with 3 days left, it's like, well, I don't know how I was going to do that, So just taking it day by day and hoping for the best, man.
Absolutely. And that is one of the toughest parts, whether it's pro or amateur. It's fighters going to the gym are much more motivated when they actually have a named opponent who they know are going to show up on the opposite side from them. So I give you not only credit for being the champion, but also that mindset of being willing to train and push and work and be on weight in case you get a phone call Wednesday or Thursday of the fight saying, hey, we got somebody. And I think that's a testament of your championship mindset by itself. So I appreciate you, champ. And thanks so much for coming on. And I can't wait to see you, hopefully live in action, May 22nd.
Sounds good. I appreciate you having me on. And for all you guys watching, if you guys need a house, this is the guy you need to call right here. I know my head, it doesn't look anything like me. That was like 4 years ago, but
I was going to say, you need to update that with your current look and the belt just sitting right here in your little headshot. That would be perfect.
That's not a bad idea. I might have to get something like that, and I'll give you credit for it if I do.
Oh, hey, perfect. All right, man. Take it easy.
All right, man. Good talking to you.
All right, bye-bye.